This could be the most common side to the average American meal.
I've been taking supplements since I was 12 to keep good health.
I like how I can take my health into my own hands.
I think using dietary supplements is great. They're good for your fitness and your nutritional health.
73% of US adults take supplements regularly for anything from preventing disease to resolving health issues. But the USD $164 billion global dietary supplement market is barely regulated. Of this industry, the US has among the largest market share. Of over 80,000 supplement products representing over 6,000 companies, most have not been tested. Are these pills more poison than panacea? The Food and Drug Administration is the oversight body responsible for product safety. Importantly, supplements are classified as food and not drugs, meaning that the FDA cannot give approval nor pre-screen any drugs. This lack of jurisdiction stems from the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994.
It says that it's the firm's responsibility to evaluate for safety to meet FDA standards. It's non-binding, rarely checked, and rarely enforced.
Between 2006 and 2007, unsafe, unstudied active ingredients were found in 776 products marketed as dietary supplements.
We have a chemical cocktail of banned ingredients hidden in dietary supplements. Take clean green, for example. We found duloxetine, an antidepressant unapproved in the US, and sibutramine, banned in 2010.
Products are rendered even more harmful by inaccurate, inconsistent, and inflated dosages, contamination with bacteria and mold, and false claims about health effects.
These ingredients cause cardiovascular risk, liver damage, and kidney failure.
Overall, there are over 23,000 yearly emergency room visits and over 15,000 reports of health problems linked to supplement use in the US. The evidence is clear. Dangerous products infiltrate our shelves. The glaring solution is to regulate dietary supplements as pharmaceuticals. But this may not be feasible. The US healthcare system is notorious for lobbying and bureaucratic backlog, which would be exacerbated with the large amounts of products currently available and launched each year. Instead, specific policy changes could be implemented to strengthen oversight. Currently, 70% of supplement manufacturers do not follow labeling requirements. While they can't claim directly their product cures disease, they bloat their claims by using words like promote and reduce risk. They also can often hide ingredients.
As you know, we have our proprietary blend. I can't tell you what's in it, I can tell you it works well.
The FDA must mandate full ingredient listings, including dosage, side effects, and drug interactions. Advertising-wise, more stringent laws on what can be claimed will prevent consumers from being swayed by miracle cures. This demystifies the market, where consumers can make informed choices, manufacturers must create viable products, and healthcare practitioners can act effectively should reactions occur. The FDA also stands to gain. This creates a database with composition requirements and a registration system to keep track of products in the market. Currently, regulators cannot approve products pre-launch, and manufacturers do not have to prove their drugs are effective nor safe.
Do you have any evidence of efficacy?
We've got no customer complaints and nothing but positive reviews. We didn't even have to submit any paperwork to the FDA. Our in-house consultants provide all the expertise we need.
A threefold strategy is necessary. First, approving products for launch only when the manufacturer provides proof of safety and efficacy. Second, to randomly select and conduct tests pre- and post-launch. Third, setting manufacturing standards, certifying and licensing approved manufacturers, and including a mandate for scientific collaboration when formulating drugs. The FDA can also partner with independent testing labs to establish recognized certifications. Consumers would be more willing to purchase from certified companies, directly incentivizing companies' compliance to regulation. Because companies would then voluntarily seek out certification, this alleviates backlog on the FDA's part. The FDA currently can only take action against a company retroactively, meaning that it can only intervene after a dangerous product has reached the market. Currently, the FDA can only issue warning letters, which corporations easily disregard. This is ineffective, logistically inefficient, and costly. Products remain easily available when proven unsafe. Providing the FDA with authority to forcibly recall products ensures swift responses to potential harm. These solutions could be complemented by long-term changes in the culture around diet pills. Prevention through proof and mitigation through recall power of fraudulent products are crucial. By addressing the key challenges of lack of market knowledge and lack of authority that plague the FDA's struggle to oversight, the dietary supplement market can be sundered from their false promises.
Today's society is one based on excess. Since the Industrial Revolution, we have harnessed and extracted everything we could from our planet. Our planet is now fighting back. Climate change is the biggest challenge facing humanity today, and it affects us all. But what is causing it? And what can we do about it? According to the UN, fossil fuels, coal, oil, and gas are by far the largest contributor to global climate change, accounting for over 75% of global greenhouse gas emissions and nearly 90% of all carbon dioxide emissions. Other sources of greenhouse gas emissions include land use changes, such as clearing forests for agriculture or urban development, which reduce the natural ability of plants to absorb carbon dioxide. Agriculture also emits greenhouse gases such as methane from livestock and rice cultivation, and nitrous oxide from fertilizer and manure. Industrial processes such as cement production, chemical manufacturing, and refrigeration also release greenhouse gases such as hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, and sulfur hexafluoride. But the biggest contributor to the climate change that we see today are unequivocally the use of fossil fuels. These human activities have increased the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere to unprecedented levels. This isn't natural, these are anthropogenic changes. This has caused the Earth to warm faster than at any point in recorded history. The average global temperature has risen by about 1.2 degrees centigrade since the pre-industrial era. These changes wrought by us humans on the Earth's climate system have brought about many differences in the world we know today. The ones I'm focusing on in this video are the melting of land-based ice as well as the thermal expansion of water as it absorbs heat. As global temperatures continue to rise, the ice sheets and glaciers on land melt and add more water to the ocean. This causes the sea level to rise as the water mass increases. The largest contributors to this are the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets, which together hold about 99% of the world's freshwater ice. Not only are we reducing the amount of freshwater that we'll have access to in the future, we are simultaneously reducing the amount of land that we will have access to in the future. The other major cause of sea level rise, especially in recent years, is the thermal expansion of water. The oceans actually absorb a large amount of the heat that we emit into the atmosphere. But as the ocean water absorbs this heat, it also expands, which causes the sea level to rise. If we allow this situation to continue, not only will it harm the people that live in coastal cities such as Mumbai, Dubai, New York City, and many other of the most populous cities in the world, it will also affect everyone else. A majority of coastal cities form economic backbones for specific countries as well as global nexus points for trade and international commerce. Even if we somehow find a solution to the demographic problem of so many people moving out of their cities, the economic loss as well as the human cost will be one that we won't be able to recover ever in our future. So, what's the solution? Well, unsurprisingly, climate change doesn't have an easy solution. Otherwise, we would have solved it, right? But even if there was, it wouldn't be so easy. Not only is quote unquote solving climate change a technological problem, it's also sadly a political one. You would find it hard pressed to find any country without at least a few oil connected politicians, if not the entire political compass being represented by people who are funded by oil lobbyists or fossil fuel lobbyists or coal lobbyists or a whole list of people involved with the fossil fuel industry, which is undoubtedly fueling climate change. I'm not saying that we as individuals should just try to not care about climate change or not contribute at all. In fact, I'm proposing the exact opposite. The only way that me and you or anyone in this classroom can hope to make an actual change in the world, especially when it comes to climate change, is by making our voices heard. Sadly, the common person taking the bus or the TTC or public transport in lieu of personal transportation doesn't really make that much of a difference when CEOs and celebrities fly around on private jets to avoid traffic. So, my personal belief and what I think the most viable solution to the issue of climate change and the issue of sea level rise is to make our voices heard through both our actions and our words to the politicians who are in power. Because we don't have the time for our generation to be the ones in parliament or in the UN. Because this isn't a problem that we're going to be able to solve once we are. This is a problem that we need to solve now.
In Niger, which has the highest rate of child marriage in the world, an estimated 76% of girls are married before their 18th birthday. One of the primary causes of this is poverty, from which almost half the country's population suffers. Many families, struggling to make ends meet, see marrying off their daughters as a way to alleviate financial burdens. Restrictive gender norms, limited access to education, and environmental crises are other key factors to consider when examining this wicked problem. Through the lens of post-colonialism, many of the deep-rooted causes of child marriage in Niger can be traced back to its history as a colony of France. During this period of around half a decade, resource extraction coupled with shifting power structures contributed to a legacy of corruption, political instability, and a lack of economic sovereignty and self-determination for the Nigerian people. Niger's status as a landlocked country also harms its ability to provide for one of the fastest-growing populations in the world, currently comprising 25 million people. Famines, droughts, and wildfires continue to hinder opportunities for financial stability in a country where 4/5 of the population relies on agriculture to make even a subsistence wage. While child marriage is a large-scale issue, access to equitable and quality education for Nigerian girls has proven to be an effective solution. Education is a tool for social and economic mobility, as well as a fundamental human right. Not only does it improve prospects for professional employment, it also has a ripple effect on other issues in Niger, such as illiteracy and high fertility rates. With this knowledge, we can use integrative thinking techniques to brainstorm a practical, feasible yet innovative solution to a deeply multifaceted issue. Using a model called the Impact Gaps Canvas, we can measure the gap between the outcomes of current interventions in Niger and areas where more attention is needed. Ultimately, while current interventions have been somewhat effective in promoting economic mobility and reproductive justice through local literacy programs, few of these initiatives are sustainable without long-term NGO intervention. Furthermore, cultural and religious barriers limit the extent to which these NGOs can actually reach their target demographic, let alone affect real change. With that said, I identified a critical need for community-led agricultural literacy programs in underserved rural communities, not just the most populous cities. Over the course of just 2 months, girls in Niger can learn low-cost, high-yield techniques, such as crop diversification, which builds climate and pest resilience, drip irrigation, which saves water by delivering it directly to the roots of plants, and farmer-managed natural regeneration, or FMNR. A decades-old land restoration and reforestation strategy, FMNR calls on farmers to actively participate in the regeneration of natural vegetation such as trees and shrubs on their agricultural lands. The 2-month program that I propose aims to provide Nigerian girls with the knowledge to break free from a cycle of intergenerational poverty, thereby reducing dependence on child marriage as a method of achieving financial stability. Through agricultural literacy, Nigerian girls can become agents in their own futures and have their fundamental human rights protected. Because, in the words of the chief of the Women's Rights and Gender section at the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, quote, "Child and forced marriage represents a violation of virtually all human rights. It deprives women and girls of autonomy and choice over their bodies and their lives," unquote. Overall, this initiative is feasible in that it addresses a prominent demand for agricultural skills among women and girls in Niger. In fact, women play a vital role in maintaining food security and economic mobility through both subsistence and small-scale commercial farming. To ensure that this program is both successful and culturally sensitive, collaboration with local communities, leaders, and educators is paramount. Additionally, partnerships with regional NGOs can secure funding and support for the scalability of the program. In conclusion, tackling the root causes of child marriage in Niger demands innovative, community-centric solutions. An agricultural literacy program for girls not only addresses economic challenges, but also fosters resilience, self-determination, and the protection of human rights. By investing in education and sustainable farming practices, we pave the way for a future where every Nigerian girl can aspire to her fullest potential, free from the shackles of child marriage.